As a founder and as the CEO in particular, you have a million things to do every day, right? You have thousands of different priorities. There's so many things going on at any given moment. How do you stay productive? How do you prioritize? How do you figure out what you're doing every day as you are very busy? Just as a startup founder, you're just very busy. You have lots of things to do. How do you figure out what's the most important? How do you figure out what to work on?
That's a very good question. We could probably talk about it for 5 hours. I try to give you like an overview of my system, and then we can dive into specifics. I will be honest that a year ago, when we started the company, I was completely overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is more like a feeling, I would say. It can also factually be you are not able to deal with what is coming in, right? And I think that the amount of incoming things you need to deal with, that is just much higher than anything I had as an individual contributor before. I had my personal management systems where I just had a to-do list, maybe in Notion or something, and I would just have like 3 columns, backlog today and done, something like that. And with that I got pretty far. And usually in sprint planning, it's a very structured way. You have like anything that really matters to me comes through the sprint planning. That's like the view from an individual contributor from an IC. And this completely changed, obviously, as a founder. Not only will you get a lot of stuff coming in, but you need to figure out what to do. You basically need to do your own sprint planning daily. You need to decide what's important. And that is very tough in the beginning when you have unknown unknowns. You don't even know what to do. What's the most important thing right now? I don't know. And so that's tough. And I think that the most important part here is really, I love the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, being a values-driven human versus a feelings-driven human. Feelings-driven means, oh my God, I feel maybe anxiety, or I feel this is super urgent, I do it. Like kind of reactive, because I feel it and then I do it. And you will get quite far with that actually, depending on how well you do it. But what is way more pleasure, like much nicer to do, is actually being values-driven. And if you're values-driven, you can be proactive, because you say, well, my value is to build great products, or to influence, positively influence people. So from there, you then think, okay, what can I do today to achieve that? And suddenly you have a strong yes. And so you can say no to things. And you're like, I understand that this is a request, but sorry, I cannot deal with it currently because I have this more important mission. I think that is the most important thing really for self-management, that you know what you want. And with that, you suddenly can say yes and no to things. It is clear that as a founder, you need to learn saying no. And again, if you don't even know what your yes is, you don't even know what to say no for.